All right, call to order the second quarter meeting for the Land Acquisition Commission. 6:09, Tuesday, April 8th, 2025, here at Sullivan Independence Hall. We have a kind of a full house tonight. Rob Wilkins, Ted Desmain, Adam Goodman, Hillary Lane, our new alternate member, Tara Hawley, and Cassandra Marshall are in attendance, as well as Commissioner Tim Bishop of the town of Fairfield. Pledge allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So hopefully everybody got a chance to look at the draft meeting minutes from the first quarter meeting. I circulated those via email, and they're posted on the town website as draft. Did anyone have any questions or comments on the meeting minutes? Nope. Okay. Motion to approve the first quarter meeting minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Adam? No, I'm good. All in favor? Okay. All right, meeting minutes is passed. All right, as we commonly do, we get an update from Commissioner Bishop on the worksheet that has been circulated to the Commission for several years, showing progress on acquisition properties. Copy of it is included in the agenda. So I hand the mic over to Commissioner Bishop to talk about any updates that he'd like to share with us.
Okay, thank you. Just starting at the top, it was about 2 weeks ago, we acquired a small piece, 152 Beaver Street. And this is, I think, the third or fourth parcel I've added to our Gypsy Springs open space. It's small, but total now the open space now totals 2.55 acres. So adding small pieces. Side note that the adjacent property owner was encroaching with playground equipment and personal belongings. So he received a notice violation from the department as it relates to inland wetlands regulations. And those have been enforced. He's agreed to remove all that material. Long-term parcel we will improve with native plantings that will add ecological value to this area of wetlands and demarcate that property boundary. It's about 4 or 5 feet off of his driveway. So, I think there's one more piece over there that we're looking at that's been in default. I've been trying to give the homeowner some slack to pay his taxes. So I'm going to check in on that soon. So there might be another parcel adding to this list for that Gypsy Springs open space area. Next two big ones, totaling 12.07 acres at 300 and 305 Stonewall Lane. According to town attorney, that should have been ours last week, April 2nd. I think that, got to check, but I think that might have to go to some of the boards. I don't remember, but that is ours, or will more officially be ours as of now. I haven't walked the parcel. This is adjacent to Audubon Burr Street's facility. I think I've talked about this before. Possibility of connecting some trail system between the two parcels. But that's not finding 12 acres too often in this town, as in the wetlands and water courses.
Good, these are good.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's no structures on those properties?
It was never developed, it was subdivided as part of the, historic,
Yeah.
Wellner estate. That was in default. You can see some large sums of dollars, almost $500,000 in delinquent taxes. Further down the list, 140 Limerick, this commission has seen before. That was approved by Conservation, as well as, P&Z. And I don't have an update on that, as far as transfer of the title, but it is, now the town's. Another large one that has gone unanswered, my letters have gone unanswered twice, from September and January. That's the, 688 Catamount, 10.26 acres adjacent to Brentwood's open space. I don't know, two letters to Florida and no response.
You know, it's funny, I had.
And we talked about this, I think, at the last
an email
meeting.
from a guy, and it was that property. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
And then he wanted to list it, and I was like, and then I looked at the property, I'm like, it's worthless.
Yeah. And this is, I think, you found that last name as like a realtor,
Yeah.
right? Or as relative of?
Vitas Martinez? Oh, yeah, and I looked him up.
Yeah,
I'll
there was
find
some
out, yeah.
connection, so. I'll still pursue it, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, I'll send it to you right now.
It's a big parcel and it's like 95% underwater. So whatever they're paying their taxes on it for and hanging on to it, don't know. But there's no way to develop that in your wildest dreams.
Yeah, and that's what I said, so.
So maybe there's some hope.
Yeah.
Further down, 3722 Post Road, one I had been looking at but hadn't pulled the trigger on. I believe we've talked about it in relation to other ones below it. This would have been underwater, under the old Bulkley Pond, close to the bridge near Shake Shack, but on the Fairfield side. I sent a letter. The listed owner, Hawthorne Realty LLC, had a Ridgefield address, which is where I live, but coincidentally, I have not gotten a response since February 18th, so we'll be staying on them. This is, under half an acre, but contingent to some of the parcels below. 75 Old Field is an acre and a half that we're working with the town attorney on to carve out a portion that will benefit the existing tidal marsh open space, as well as benefit the current property owner with some tax relief. It's the acre and a half is all submerged property and adjacent to 2 or 3 of our open space parcels of Oldfield Road area north. That is in progress.
What was that, 785?
785.
Is the property in, the one on Post Road, are there fish coming up there now that the dam's gone?
Reportedly.
Okay.
They at least have the ability to now.
Yeah.
I
That would be good to say that.
I haven't confirmed,
I mean, that was
anyone actually seen.
right. That's why the dam was taken out.
Yeah.
It has been driving this fish, migrating upstream past that.
DEP swears by it. There's been some other dams we've dealt with in the permitting realm that they argue way up Hulse Highway, like migratory fish up here.
Can you
We're like 2 miles of stream to get that far. Are they coming? I don't know, but
Hulse Highway?
yeah, just part of the furthermore of Sasko in that system. So I'm sure if they're just past the dam, that
Yeah.
I have heard of people catching, and it's in the fishing books, catching wild, sea trout, or, trout that go out to the sound, get used to the salt water, but then migrate inland at periods of time, and they catch them. So in the Saugatuck, next to, I know we're getting off track here, Longshore, that's a really popular place to catch them, but I have heard them coming up the channel, up near the open space that you guys just cleaned up, on Satsco Creek, I think it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, in there, and that whole channel that goes up. I'm shocked, because when you go by and it's low tide, it's like, there's no water.
Yeah.
So it's like, where do they go? But it's very cool. Okay, sorry.
But that is the southernmost parcel of the three, the one you're talking about. Three contingent parcels. Next one, 299 Pansy is 0.7 acres. This would be new. I just sent a letter of inquiry last month, about a month ago. They are current on taxes. Just an area of interest for me. It's adjacent to former commission chair Widmer's property, his farm, and adjacent to and hydraulically connected to the new acreage that the town is receiving as part of the 220 Pansy subdivision, which is about 8.5 acres. That was condition of a wetlands permit and a TPZ permit for those two houses where the Panagini farm was, or is.
299 is undeveloped?
Undeveloped and very wet.
Is there an easement into that?
No,
Yeah.
it would be landlocked, but
Yeah.
it would be kind of another piece to do some further.
And they want to, they'll donate it?
Don't know. It's just pulling the trigger on a whim that what do you want it for if you get the benefit but not have to pay for it.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe they'll have an interest.
I bet Widmer would help go in on that.
It was his suggestion.
Yeah.
I was in his backyard when he was doing his maple syrup boil.
Is there still a zoo in there? You got like
Sheep,
yeah.
chickens.
Have you been there?
Yeah, I went there once for ASB.
Cool.
So if there's any potential to acquire this and then eventually work with Mike on some of his property, then we could have a bigger piece and with street access.
Good idea.
Long-term plan. And then the last one, 3726 Post, is the one I was talking about that's currently adjacent to Hulse Highway or Satsco Pond. It's called open space with access from Hulse Highway. Will essentially double the existing open space plus 3724 plus 3722. So we'll more than double that space once most or all of these parcels convey the title to the town. 49.98 acres listed on this sheet, required 15 individual parcels since I got here, totaling 22.95 acres for almost free, at a rate of 2.93 parcels per month, and that's 27 plus acres left to track down. So things are still happening positive, and there's more to come. But I'll put it on the next sheet. But I'll say now that I reached out to a landowner, put the letter in the mail today. Same kind of thing as, hey, do you have any interest in this? The answer is always no if you don't ask. So I'll put that. It's a big parcel, the DuPont parcel. Maybe there's no shot in hell, but let them say no.
Yeah. Do you need any help from us as far as like a letter from the commission for any process?
Possibly that one if there's if I get a response. I would love to work on 688 Catamount.
I just sent it, you know.
I did, okay.
I just think it's ironic, but the guy sent me.
Yeah, I would have to, maybe we'll contact him to get to the owner.
Well, he was the owner.
Oh, he was the owner?
Yeah.
Oh,
He emailed me about listing
So I
his
wonder if-
property.
I wonder if this lady's dead.
Random. The guy's,
She has a Boca address
Vita, V-I-T-A,
and the same last name.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's good, that's a good lead.
And his phone number's there.
Even better. It was the 3726 parcel that I had sent the letter to that ended up getting to the one surviving heir out of the eight heirs in the estate. He was, the only one, the other seven have been dead, that I got in touch with in Florida.
Hmm.
He had called me from the letter, this was 3 years ago, so, it does work. People are like, oh, why am I paying taxes, or this is
Yeah.
my dad that owned this has been dead for 30 years, like, 152 Beaver Street. Frank Berry Jr. didn't even know that the land was still in his father's name.
Yeah.
Like, it's still accumulating taxes. Somebody owes, and somehow the
Right.
estate was already closed. So the town had to reopen the estate and deal with probate and all that. So I'd say that most of these are free. Obviously, to get into the economics, there's the loss of uncollected taxes, which is really no loss, since no one's paying them anyway. And then the minor costs for town attorney to do some of the legwork and paperwork, so. But even at that expense, at that rate, where are you getting 12 acres for almost nothing in this town? So.
Yeah. And even the ones that are current on their taxes, I mean, the tax rates on this undeveloped land is very low, right? Hundreds of dollars a year kind of thing, right?
Yeah, there's some that maybe were like 3,000 or 4,000
Okay.
or whatever. But to own it forever is, and
Right.
protect it, I think has way more financial value than the dollar. So, good
Right.
progress.
It's all good progress, I think it's good.
Have you looked at the other side of, this preserve? The other side, not Catamount side, this northern side of Brett Woods? This is Brett Woods, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about this. Remember this 27-acre property that's adjacent to Brett Woods? It's across 136. It's partially in
Yeah, right, what we were
Weston,
talking about before.
partially in Fairfield. I've spoken to a neighbor adjacent to this property who I got some background on the lady who owns it. I guess it's famous Broadway actress, or I don't know, famous in quotes.
Mm-hmm.
And he owns one of these lots adjacent to the property, and he's interested in helping purchase the whole thing. The only problem is she's asking for something outrageous.
Wow.
Do you remember what that was? It's like 2 million, 2.9 million or something. And there's maybe one or two lots off Old Eastern Turnpike.
Oh,
This
yeah,
is in
I looked at it.
Weston, and it's on the border. But I thought it would be a good addition because it's adjacent to Brett Woods, even if you had to cross the road for it. I mean, the wildlife at least is contiguous, maybe not for people to hike across necessarily, but there's so many wetlands from the Aspetuck River there that there's a lot of ponds and tributaries in there that it would be a good one to save. It's one of those things where I think you have to get the landowner to come off their high horse,
Yeah.
thinking it's worth what it's not.
Oh, 2.5, 85 to 95, Old Eastern Turnpike, yeah, that'd be 2.5.
And that was reduced recently?
It started at 3.
Yeah, so it's coming down. So wait and see, I think,
Yeah.
see when it gets a little more reasonable.
And how much of it's in Fairfield?
There are 4 parcels, it says, 14 acres. 2 in Weston, a 4-acre in Weston, 7 acres in Fairfield.
7.5, I have it.
Totaling 27.55.
And it's all riverfront too.
Yeah.
That, the portion that's in.
Well, maybe there's an opportunity to work
She started at $5 million.
Like I said, she wasn't.
2023. Yeah.
But honestly,
$5 million.
the way I envision this kind of deal happening is, multiple partners,
Yeah.
right? The town of Weston, the town of Easton, neighbors, the Aspentuck Land Trust. You know, you put all those people together, maybe we can cobble something together, but I think that she clearly has to get a more reasonable price. I haven't had an appraisal done or anything on this parcel, but it's just something for us to keep on our radar.
On Park Avenue,
She lives in Park, yeah.
1050.
What's her name?
Like the Manhattan Park Avenue or the
Yeah.
Bridgewater Park Avenue?
Hey, that's clarified.
Right, yeah. I think she went through a nasty divorce, and that is why,
And that she got the land?
yeah.
Swampland.
Well, and there's another partner that I didn't mention, and that is do you know the Aspentuck Area Girl Scout Association? They are contiguous to the north of this parcel. So like in between Brett Woods and this and them is this parcel that kind of connects all. So I don't know why they wouldn't be interested also, because they have a 15-acre chunk that's connected to it. So that would be a cool project to get these all together, but get all these people involved. And we all have more time, and the price is more reasonable.
Yeah, but that, I mean, if even if those groups came together, that'd be a good, OSWA grant type of thing,
I think it could be.
you know?
I think
The deep would love to see the municipalities and nonprofits come together and say,
Yeah.
Kind of grant was it?
it's a update, open space and watershed.
Open space, land, watershed.
Land, watershed.
Yeah, so you don't put the L, it's not Oswald,
Yeah.
Oswald, OSW.
Yeah.
The town has grant writers for that?
Well, since I've been here, we hired a part-time one, and Terry left, and then we had a full-time one. He was here about a month and then left, so we have none, we're back to none again.
Okay.
I think the administration's working on that in this budget cycle, but we have no grant writers right now.
That's a service that the trust could help provide, I think, as well, when it got to that point.
Yeah, and if we have one soon, then.
That's not happening this year for us anyway, but, just because we have.
No, I mean, if we hire one soon.
Oh, yeah, that would be great. That would be great.
Yeah, we just keep it in-house.
And just so you know, those are funded on biannual basis. Do you know about the funding issue? Yeah, okay. They usually give $10 million a year, the state, to fund this, OSWA program. But the it's unclear, the 26-27 budget, Lamont didn't include any money for OSWA. I wrote a letter, I testified in public, a lot of people were up in arms, and I think that they have I've heard whispers of them agreeing to fund it.
Okay.
So that's good. But yeah, I was gonna say, if we do it, we should do it soon, I mean, cause
Yeah, I forget what the deadline is.
there is gonna be a grant round this year, but it was the 26 and 27 that we don't know, and I think a lot of it depends on, they have $42 million in the bank right now, but a lot of that is sort of waiting to be dispersed. It's tough because these also takes 2 years to fund once you get the grant.
Yeah.
So it looks like there's a lot of money in the fund when the reality is there's not. So I think that was why the legislators were like, well, why are we wasting our money funding this when they haven't even spent what they got?
Yeah.
So yeah. So maybe a 2026.
It'll take that long to get everyone together.
Oh, yeah.
And that price to come down.
Yeah, right, exactly.
If we get her to the table and say, hey, if we could pull this off, would you agree to let us appraise it and sell it at, an agreeable price amongst these 5 groups or whatever?
Right. I spoke to the landowner about that, and, the next move is to get an appraisal, even if it's a back of the envelope, just to see like what kind of ballpark we're in. And so, I'm not in any hurry to get this done. I think the neighbor is, because he doesn't want a house to pop up right next to him. But clearly she's gotta come down in price, so I think time's on our side. And there are some buildable lots on the old Easton Turnpike, there's a couple, in Weston, but there's not, everything else is wet almost, so there's not $3 million worth of property here. So it'll hopefully come back down to something reasonable.
She doesn't owe taxes or anything like that, right?
I haven't checked, I don't know. Does Easton, does Fairfield do tax, have you heard of a tax sale happening here?
Yeah,
Tax auction?
I don't do them because,
That's not your department, I know.
no, but any of these parcels, I don't go that route because then we have the chance to lose it.
Right, of course.
So either
She tried to make a deal.
make a deal or we foreclose on it straight up.
Oh, okay, so it's not ours.
Some of these are foreclosed, like the Stonewall parcels were foreclosure.
Okay. Good. I'm wondering if we've ever had a tax sale. I've never heard of one in the 10 years or 15 years I've been here.
I think so. Norwalk does one.
There was one in Easton a couple
What
years
you
ago.
doing?
Oh, we got a property on that. It was so stressful. But it's a great way to recoup, the town recoups some money when they're behind the taxes.
So it's literally an auction.
So literally an auction for land, and the starting bid is usually the principal that's owed plus whatever interest and fees there are. So, and it's, a lot of times it's just developers going after the land to develop land.
Well, they assume the risk.
Yeah.
And they get the land, it's the tax.
Well, then
aren't
they
paid
have
within,
to force the foreclosure.
Yeah, but they have the tax lien, so.
Yeah.
Right, and all those encumbrances disappear as soon as the sale happens. So whatever mortgage or other issues there are with the land, they just vanish after the tax sale. It's a pretty,
Yeah, how's it
It's kind of
big
big business.
the bank has an opportunity to buy it before it goes to auction.
Oh, were they there?
And no, well, they didn't buy it before. So once it goes to auction, they're not gonna get involved because they have an opportunity to get it
Before that.
beforehand, yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting concept. And Easton hadn't had one in 9 years. That's why I was like, maybe Fairfield hasn't done that either. Obviously, it's better to get it before it goes to auction, if you can make a deal, foreclose on it, or whatever the thing is. I guess Easton felt like they could make more money in the auction.
Maybe there could be a rule that goes through you first, with the bank, before it goes to auction.
I have a grand list from the first selectman's office and the tax collector, beginning of the year, beginning of last year. I went through, most of them had houses, so it's, I don't want that.
Yeah.
But it was really, most of the parcels that were on there of interest with any resources, size, connectivity, blah, 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 were, already on this list, so. Nothing got by. The two new ones at the time were the two Westway parcels down by in Southport.
All right. Well, pretty informative, thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, so I think we're wrapped up with old business, move on to, new business. Commissioner Goodman brought to my attention, amongst many bills circulating in the General Assembly, one of them kind of relates to, our funding. This is in House Bill 7034, an act prohibiting the requirement of a donation of land as a condition of subdivision approval. Basically, I'm not the expert on this one, but from what I can tell here is it's the funding source that is going to be removed. It's the condition of subdivision approval, so that would mean less funding for our opportunities here that we strive for in purchasing parcels of land or acquiring land, through ways that have been enacted but are going to potentially be repealed. So, I personally voiced opposition, went on the website for the bill, and thinking that maybe, if the rest of the commission is in support of it, that we issue a letter voicing our opposition to it, to whoever's sponsoring it here. I can draft it and circulate it. Seems like it's moving through with a lot of a lot of support, which is not good, but maybe we can do whatever we can to kind of just, you know, make sure that we're heard, that we all agree that it's not good for us. That, you know, maybe we see what.
So what's the verbiage exactly?
So it's an act prohibiting the requirement of a donation of land as a condition of subdivision approval, so subdivision.
So now they can just pay a fee?
No, it hasn't been voted on yet, right? It hasn't been approved. I don't know if
It's going through committee.
Yeah, it's going through committee.
Yeah, and I'm not really
Not sure the
sure
timeline.
on this, but yeah, it's been approved by the housing
So that
committee.
line item of if and.
The in lieu of,
In lieu of.
Yeah.
Is going away.
it could be disappearing, which is our entire funding for our commission.
Which we've
Right.
spent, on several meetings, it's been the topic of discussion, so it's topic.
And that was one of our main suggestions to the POCD.
It's
was like,
make them get a
or-
plan.
Yeah, like, at least enforce a rule
You know.
that may not exist soon.
Yeah.
Blah, we got this to deal with, so.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's
How are the developers bidding on
I
all
know,
this?
they
when
really are.
None of them live in the town.
I know, this is clearly a developer pushing this.
Yeah, it's like who sponsored the bill.
And they
you know?
Yeah, all the money.
I don't know.
So this is one of those things where I think we should all kind of, you know, figure out what's going on here. And, yeah, we'll learn a lot in the process about, you know, how these things work, as far as these types of bills. But, you know, we have a genuine interest in this not passing.
Yeah.
The way I see it.
I would agree with you. My sense is this is bad for open space.
Yeah.
And once it's gone, it's gone.
And when the time's gone. And I don't know that it's good for developers long-term either, because it's just gonna raise the stakes on acquiring these properties in the first place, right? It's a level playing field today. This is a rule that they all have to comply with. You know, but is it about 10 parcels or?
Something like that.
Yeah, so it's a level playing field today. Those that have properties that they acquired under the old rules, if they suddenly get switched to the new rules, might have a one-time, you know, benefit. But people who are acquiring properties that the future develop, this is, you know, the level playing field is just gonna shift, right? So I view this as not in the interests of, long-term interests of the parties, both open space support and as well as the development community.
Is this supposed to go in the POCD? Is that,
I don't think it is a POCD.
oh, okay.
I think it's just in the, it's a state thing, right?
Yeah.
State. So it's not even a Gen Fair
Oh, it's
regulation.
coming,
POCD.
yeah.
It's a Hartford thing.
The zoning law, they're trying to change the
Oh, no, I think
zoning, they're trying to get rid of zoning laws across the country.
They are, they're trying to they're trying to take the zoning, the power out of the local
Yep,
planning and zoning commissions and
Right.
making it all state.
Yep.
Is what's happening. It's like the 830G, yeah.
yeah. Wow.
Interesting times.
So I would love to hear others' opinions, but I would support
Absolutely.
a statement.
And we have a, yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to
Wanna take a
schedule a
motion?
special meeting to get that done? Or just add?
We
it to the
could,
next one? What's the timeline here?
well, that's the big, yeah, I'll try to figure out, you know, what the next steps are, as far as, you know, what the next committee approval is and whatever.
You figure if the state's trying to generate revenue, I get it on one side, but they're not looking at the cost on the, you know, like just putting kids through school system, or upgrading our sewer systems, or expanding the roadways.
It's all moving really fast.
Yeah. Short-sighted.
So,
Can't you just put them together and circulate it maybe?
I can,
Come on.
you can help.
I can help with that.
All right, so, do we wanna have a motion that we,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Sure.
anyone wanna raise it?
Go ahead.
I'll propose a motion that we establish a small subgroup to draft a position letter, and then we bring it back to this group for review.
I'll second that. I have one more second. Thank you.
Do we need another second? I'll second, all in favor?
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, it's official.
Anybody opposed? I didn't hear you say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I wonder how many other towns are aware of this and/or
Yeah,
would be
I
interested
mean,
in-
I never would have found it.
Yeah.
You were working on something
Yeah.
else and thought
Yeah,
I
I-
could sneak through.
What happened was, I told you about the OSWA funding, and I submitted testimony, and I sent a letter to the MetroCog and WestCog, which are the councils of governments, and I sent a letter to all the local first selectmen that we deal with to let them know that the OSWA funding is potentially in jeopardy. And, Francis Pickering, who is the executive director of WestCog, Western Councils of Government, reached out to me and he's like, yeah, that's bad, but have you seen this one? And that's what he showed me. So it's, yeah.
Is there any perspective on the likelihood of this getting enough support to
I have
that?
no idea. Yeah, I was so involved with the OSWA, testimony that I haven't followed this one at all.
I think it's passed 2 committees with all yays. So that's not good.
Yeah.
But,
Did you read the minutes or anything that?
I haven't gotten that
The
far.
rationale for it?
No.
Good.
So I think we,
Sometimes these things get a little head of steam because people think, oh, it's red tape or it's bureaucracy, without really understanding the issues. Maybe we can help them
as
understand.
you mentioned earlier, with, this as far as developers, it's not really, might not be in their best interest. So. And that's something that could go into the letter, that it, a point of view that maybe hasn't been discussed.
Yeah, I would just say it's a level playing field for all participants. And
Yeah.
a one-time shift doesn't necessarily, benefit anybody other than people who are currently sitting on assets.
Okay, all right, so get working on that. Next line item, we have another year of the Fairfield Earth Day and whether or not we're going to have anybody attend it. It's April 26th, and from 10 to 1, Saturday.
2 weeks,
Yeah, and then it's at Fairfield Y.
so it's Tuesday.
Saturday.
Saturday.
26th, my bad. Earth Day is Tuesday, though.
Yeah, so I promised Mary Ho with Sustainable Fairfield that I'd let her know if we're gonna be in attendance. The option is there if anyone's available. 2 weeks.
I can't do it.
If we do it, I think that it would be cool to have a poster of all the open space we currently have. I mean, like, what would be the point of us being there? Is just sort of like, oh, we have a commission that's about open space, that's cool, how much open space do we have? And that's gonna be like, really, or what other purposes do we have?
Well, Tim, is there the possibility you could help us print out a big open space map or get one, something that we could,
Yeah, again, I don't know if, this is on the agenda for next Wednesday's Conservation Commission meeting. They have been there in the past too.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
What
I don't know.
do they have at their table, you know?
they had some bat and bird boxes on display. I don't think they had a large open space map. I don't think that would ruffle their feathers, but again, it's in their jurisdiction. That's where the overlap between the commissions is, so.
Maybe, just a thought, we could suggest to them that that might be a good thing to have. I don't personally think that we're doing it for Commission A or Commission B, I think it's just, like,
Yeah, generally.
people down excited about open space.
I had a couple cute ideas for like the kid interactive part. It's like a family event, right? I've never been. But, I had added some to like my Amazon list, let me look at it, because I forget. But I mean, I can do it, but, like some cute like wooden puzzles with like nature stuff. Like I can put together some cute kid stuff. But, I think the only point of me being there would be to have this huge poster, but I don't know how to go about doing that.
Well, what would be the point of us going? would be to what?
Just sort of
Raise
awareness.
It does raise
Yeah.
awareness.
I mean, I can put the pamphlets out, I have a couple old pamphlets, but I think it would be cool to at least have either that or like, isn't there a book, an online book of all the open
The
trails?
yellow book, yeah.
Or something like
Yeah.
that people could flip through or take a picture of?
And I have a couple copies that
Bring
borrow,
binder or
yeah.
something.
So is that like making sense then? If I
But that
have
is,
those,
just to get back to Tim's thing, that is a conservation,
or- Okay.
commission document that they put together, I think.
It was in '09.
Yeah. Not that we can't celebrate it, it's almost like we have a joint table, but I
Yeah, that's
think
what I'm
awareness,
Joint table.
solicit donations, think about, maybe people are thinking about land to donate, or, you know, land that is undeveloped, that maybe we don't know about.
Yeah,
Awareness, like you were saying, I think that's probably the biggest thing. To go out and go hiking is, as much as it is in our hearts,
yeah,
may not necessarily be aligned with our mission of acquisition. But they overlap, for sure.
yeah.
And I don't have a problem with doing that. Maybe we should speak to the Conservation Commission about, are they gonna have, I wonder if Mary knows if they're gonna have a table?
Yeah, I can ask, but I think, it'd be best for us to sit next to conservation commissioners and just, if anyone comes up, just explain what we do and
Mhm.
ask for property.
Give us your name.
First, tell us your address.
Yeah.
Second, how you doing with your taxes?
I could have, I mean,
Tighten the grip.
to that point, I think it was last year, the year before, I had a banner made, for conservation. So I can get the same banner made for this commission if you're side by side.
Yeah,
And I could put on the agenda, Conservation Commission agenda, that this commission is looking to partner up or,
mhm.
Yeah, could you do that? And if there's
share
interest,
resources,
then we can could move forward?
manpower and, because there is overlap. We get the land here and then they run it,
Yeah.
essentially,
Yeah.
type of thing, through the department who's connected to
I
everything.
mean, my 2 cents is that it's complementary, there's no, you can call it an overlap, it's really complementary, we're hoping to feed,
Yeah,
more property into, the mission that they support day in and day out, so. I have no need to see the Land Acquisition Commission get table space or visibility, but, if they're gonna be there and there's some way that it makes sense for us to support them, let us know what that is. And somebody would have a different view, of course.
I have it in my calendar, I'm available, I have a table, I have stuff, but I don't want to feel useless there, so like, if we can have the books, or if that's okay, and I'm right next to conservation, that's cool. I would love a map if you mind asking if that could be part of it.
Where is it this year?
The Fairfield
Fairfield
landscape.
Live.
Oh.
Hopefully it's a nice day.
I think last year was like raining, so that would be a bummer, but,
should I pursue the banner?
yeah, well, so Mary really
We
wants us
have it.
there?
Yeah, I think so. So I can report back to her if we got a head count, and we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
This also assumes that conservation's going.
Yeah.
They have in the past, but
Mhm.
we
And,
don't know.
Thanks, Cassandra.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, we haven't had our cleanup of Holland Hill Road, is that?
I feel guilty every time I drive past.
I know, it's like a pretty,
Holland Hill?
not Holland Hill, but it's right
I'm
next to,
sorry, what is it?
Yeah, it's
It's
right.
Holland
is
Hill,
it? Okay.
Yeah, next to Gold Man.
So-
Next to Wilmington, there we go.
probably.
So, what I
the
can't
back.
rely on, like, DPW needs to go first, because there's large items in there over the course of the winter. I don't know if they have a schedule of when they do that kind of stuff, but there is a lot, so the more people we can have help us, the better.
This is Goldman?
Yeah,
What?
that parking section,
Yeah, on Holland Hill,
yeah,
in between the highway and Holland Hill?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so not the park.
Well, we do loop, so we do the parking lot and then the park, but the parking lot is way worse than the park.
Okay.
I brought my kids last time, so teach a little
Yeah,
volunteerism there.
I thought it was a great event.
Yeah.
I do have one question. Those big black garbage bags that you don't know what was in them, did you ever find out, did DPW ever say, like, you know, what they
oh,
found
I
there?
remember that, yeah.
It was a little eerie.
Landscapers dumping, not so much
Landscapers.
bodies.
Yeah, like, we didn't even.
Yeah, we didn't, no, that's not our purview.
Again, if whoever goes out wants bags or grabbers, just let me know, so I have some downstairs, the grabbers downstairs.
I went with the rake, right? I was like pulling stuff
Yeah.
out, and then your kids were awesome, bend down where you swing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that bag worked or not, but it was fun.
Well, let's pick a date. Let's do it like maybe later rather than sooner,
Mm-hmm.
just because it's cold still. When's our next meeting?
I'm pretty sure July 8th. July 8th, do July 1st, because of the holiday.
Yeah, or,
Yeah, I have it as
it was
July.
4th of July, the following, let's say.
Following Tuesday, no?
I have it as July 8th.
I'm trying to do it in May. Saturday morning in May. You can always change it too.
This is true. How about May 10th?
Sure.
I'm gonna be away.
Wait,
Uh-oh.
May 10th.
We need you there. Mother's Day, oh, is
Oh,
that
it's not a
Mother's
good week,
Day?
yeah.
What works for you, May 17th or May?
I'm gonna be away for most of May, unfortunately, so if you guys wanna do it in May, I'll have to bow out, but
How about June 7th?
Sure.
perfect.
Alright. June 7th is. We start like 9 o'clock or something, 9:30?
Yeah.
9 o'clock. So,
And for everybody else, we had fun. Like, it was fun. It's a nice little bonding thing.
Yeah, maybe we could get coffee after or something like that.
All right, any other business anything else you wanted to bring up, talk about this meeting?
I was curious, when we sent our letter to the POCD, did you get a response?
Negative, no.
Nothing.
No, I think it may have passed.
I don't think they've,
sometime,
I think they may have voted last Tuesday.
Right.
I had heard that they really didn't make any more changes for more conservation side things. It was still super pro-development, but that's just what I heard.
That was from Kathy Brown or something.
Alexa.
Yeah, I got a newsletter too saying the same thing, that I don't think they've made many adjustments since the
That's my
initial one
question.
went
They
out.
didn't really make.
No, they have not added anything about the history of the conservation history or the education, the schools and our, a lot of stuff hasn't been added. And I think it is mostly as we indicated in our letter to them, that it seems to be more of a conservation and development as opposed to development and development as opposed to a conservation and development. Yeah, it seems to be really focused on the development side of things.
Okay.
But the only thing I have to add, Rob, is that, as Tim knows, that the town just recently compromised, and maybe this is in the same or similar email, but the town recently compromised with the developer for the old Exide battery factory, and they agreed, instead of letting the appeal run and risking losing to the Porsche dealership, they agreed to compromise, reach a settlement, and I guess they withdrew their appeal. But now, and help me out, Tim, but now there is going to be a public open space park on the Mill River, I guess west of Martell. That's going to be like a buffer area between the Mill River and this alien ship that landed, Force Dealer ship. And there's not gonna be boat entrance, but there will be park benches and a small parking lot for, I think, 3 or 4 cars or something. And I live right there, and I was looking at it. That's gonna take a lot of work, because right now, it's gravel. They've actually filled it in with gravel, I think, so I don't know if they plan on removing that and bringing in fill, clean fill, hopefully, and, topsoil. Do you know what, I don't know if it's been finalized, but do you know what the plan is for that open space?
Yeah, they relinquished all the decisions to me,
They did.
the final design decisions. So I've since added and beefed up the planting plan. The path will remain gravel. I think requires that the path have a border, probably a steel border to hold in the stone dust, so that it doesn't wash downhill. I removed the gazebo, removed the picnic tables and swapped them out with benches. And then the deck, the observation deck, I'll call it, is still there. I think that has some benefits to try and keep people from just trampling everything all over the place. People are gonna go down to the water and drop a line in and stuff, so at least it somewhat confines them. There'll be a native seed mix planted on the slope. And then their planting plan, like I said, I augmented with, they had a non-native Spirea variety that was from Japan that I pulled and swapped it out with other native plants, and then added some, if I recall, sycamore along closer to the water, and then some other, like winter-bearing and other fruit-bearing native plants that, in addition to what they had already proposed. So.
Is the town taking title of that strip?
No, it's gonna be, they'll remain as owners, but we'll have the access under an easement. And it's gonna, it would land in my department.
Okay.
I saw a drawing somewhere, it looked nice.
It did. Yeah,
There was some schematic somewhere, on the Connecticut Insider somewhere.
Yeah, I saw it from the applicant. I mean, if it looked like that, it would be nice.
Yeah,
I think
at least the drawing looked nice.
How wide is this? Does it go to Mark Howell, or not really?
it's now over 100 feet wide.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it goes the length from
I
the
have the
tree?
drawing downstairs.
Yeah, I'd like to, actually, on a side note, I want to chat with you about it, on that front, see if there's any way that we can help.
Sure.
Is the developer paying for all the plants?
Mm-hmm.
They are? And then the town has agreed to do labor?
Yeah, I mean, we would,
Oh, see, there's your pretty farm.
Yeah, that's,
we would do it,
If
and we
that-
would maintain
if
it
that's
as
the
we
way it
do
looks.
with other open space.
right.
I was on Connecticut Insider.
Is it
Oh,
proper that wraps
Yeah.
behind?
How pretty.
That's on the
Park
road.
All that
So
river.
there's that square, yeah.
Yeah,
We're
we're
gonna
gonna
be
see a little
trampling
sheet
down
piling in.
fish.
Yep.
All that, there's a lot of block in there.
Staying.
Who owns the backside property?
I mean, if it really looked like that, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
An LLC
Oh.
by,
Lanush?
Yeah.
So if it's an easement, can we include it in our open space?
Well, yeah, no, well, I was just curious.
So we got a little,
Okay.
couple more here.
Well, that new development will have a view of the park, because it's right across the water.
Yeah, right, the new residential development. But the bulkhead is staying the same, right? There's not gonna be any change to that metal bulkhead.
no, I mean, that's gonna outlive all of us.
Okay.
The fixed sheet piling. I mean, eventually, steel and brackish water will eventually degrade, but
Like
Take a little while.
the town's not owning it, so
Right.
that will be, another fish to fry in like 50 years.
Like they just fried at the, next to the Pequot Yacht Club. That was similar, right? Wasn't that the similar type of bulkhead that just got replaced?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did they replace it with wood? I can't.
I don't know the engineering spend on that.
Yeah. It looks like wood from the street.
Could be, yeah.
I'm looking forward to that park opening up again with the summer. You know what I'm talking about?
Where?
Next to Pequot Yacht Club, on Harbor Road.
Oh, yeah. I thought you said library. Yeah. That'll be nice.
Okay. All right, are we, I think we're all set here. Anybody else have any other business?
Want to put it to, commission about name plates?
There's, an opportunity for us to have, nameplates. And, similar to the opportunity presented to other commissions, may not have them, but, you know, we could. Are we interested in having,
For doing what?
What is that?
having our own nameplates here at the table?
I guess that sounds like taxpayer dollars.
We have to bring our own every time.
Yeah.
So we know who each other are.
That sounds like a waste of
Oh, yes, oh.
So under my umbrella is this commission, Shellfish Conservation Commission, and Inland Wetland Agency. So, I have almost like a pilot's luggage suitcase thing on wheels, that I have to bring to all these meetings. The other three commissions have their names, they're more public facing, but the intent here is to get us on Zoom. We're in town hall now, we have a flag, and if there's an interest, it doesn't cost much. But the chairman has a gavel, we have a copy of Robert's rules on the table, we have nameplates. I'm just throwing it out there, because out of the other, all four, this is the only one has been less official, and I don't think this commission should be treated any differently than other boards and commissions in this town. So I just wanted to throw it out to the chairman and to bring to the commission to have a discussion. It could be tabled, it could be.
That sounds like we should follow the
denied.
Well, I guess that means they're not gonna extinguish our commission with the next charter revision?
Got that going for it.
They can't do it if we have nameplates, they can't.
It's a great.
I mean, for Shellfish, we actually, for whatever reason, we put some clam shells and oyster shells on the table during the meeting. That was started before I got here, but those are in our meeting box for Shellfish.
Sounds like good luck.
So,
How old do you have to be on a committee? 18?
I think 18 and at least a resident.
Yeah.
Well, do we have support for, a gavel for the chairman and nameplates for the commission?
Sure, I support it.
Okay.
I'm ambivalent about it.
I would certainly support a gavel.
Yeah.
I think you would really.
In a hat, top hat.
Yeah. Like, how about, like in the British court, they have the.
Wait a row.
Yeah, but just for the chairman.
Elevated, like in the corner.
I could do without the nameplates personally.
Got shut down.
So at these other meetings, how many people attend?
I think it's because you're on Zoom though.
It varies, yeah, but I actually thought this, until I saw it, thought this meeting was gonna be our first on Zoom, but Rob and I work with the Selectman's office we need to have a Zoom block reserved. So that would go on the agenda, if somebody opens the agenda, they could click on the hyperlink and join. So it'll give us one more transparency too, it'll be a recording somewhere on easily, because after this meeting adjourns, and it's on Zoom, Fair TV's program automatically uploads it, so it's on in like 10 minutes, already available. So there is that record, which helps you sometimes too, as a secretary. Whether the visibility skyrockets because we're on Zoom is to be seen, but it is.
How are with like, planning and zoning or any of those committees, how, do you get numbers back on how many people are actually watching it? Like, can you see how many?
It's on the
people watch
screen
it?
while we're in the meeting,
But do
so.
you ever get like clicks afterwards to be like 1,000 people logged on, like?
I mean, controversial applications, we've had over 100 people show up to a meeting
Yeah.
we're at fire training, in the bigger room, so, I mean,
But do
you know, when the
people watch
pitchforks
the-
come out, they
Yeah,
come out, and, you know, usually if it's a public hearing that lasts 4, 5, 6 months, you see the diminishing attendance
yeah,
from 100 down to like 5 at month 5, you know, month 6.
yeah.
But that's up to the public. I mean,
Yeah,
if anyone's
curious.
interested about what this commission does, you know,
They can
yet
log
to be
in on
seen,
it.
but right now, probably most people don't even, one, we were just talking about visibility. I'm not sure how many people know that there is one
Yeah.
or what you do. So I think just higher visibility with the Zoom option is, can't hurt. And I think, you know, if somebody was questionable as a commissioner that I gotta pick my kid up, I'm not sure I can make it, or I'm gonna be late, now I have a Zoom
This
option.
is live,
But what is this?
planning and zoning,
Oh, right. Oh, so there's a lot of people
a
on
lot
there.
of people on there.
How many are on?
Doesn't say.
I mean, I was on
Plus
RTM,
it's recorded.
2 pages,
Plus
it's
it's
2 pages.
recorded, right? So then,
a lot.
wondering how many people, you know, maybe click on it tomorrow or day after.
I think
Yeah.
for planning and zoning, they do get a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that our fan club is gonna be as large.
But the other thing is like,
Where
you
is it
can't,
right
this
now?
is at the fire training
Oh.
center on,
Yeah.
one run.
But it'll be,
it's not like you can see the nameplate.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I guess you could zoom in if you wanted.
Unless you're there, yeah. So, I mean, it really is, but no one's coming to Shellfish either,
Yeah. And how long do they have nameplate?
way before I got here.
What do you, what do you have doing there?
This town has actually one of, I think, best and most active shellfish commissions in the state. Yeah, they do a lot, they're doing good work. Yeah, they're really, I mean, the state looks to our commission for,
Yeah.
as like pioneers, so they do a lot. So, it could be, doesn't
all right.
have to be decided tonight, I'm just throwing it out so you guys
That's cool.
aren't, you know, the
Feel like
third
second
wheel.
class, yeah.
I mean, I didn't mean to bias the group,
Yeah,
I would not be offended.
I just suggest we just do it. Fine. Opinion? We need a vote
All
on
the
it?
food?
I'm okay with it.
Good vote, sure, make it official.
How much does it cost? Cause I don't like hackers.
They're going
I
up.
Doge here.
I have enough in a budget line that I could fund the $100 of,
Yeah.
$100.
Timu, you probably could have
Maybe
gotten
$50.
$5, now they're 500.
Right. You wanna make a motion to vote on nameplate and a gavel?
Combined motion.
just to clarify, we have a gavel that gets shared.
Oh,
So we
okay.
could save the money on a nice
Yeah.
oak gavel.
Are there any common names? Can we share?
I actually have not seen a gavel used at any town meeting.
Yeah.
Conservation and wetlands use it every time.
Well, you know, when we get a little crazy, or,
It comes with a block.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
So when they make a motion, they gavel it?
Usually it's a call to order or adjourn,
Oh, okay.
or, I mean, Luke has banged it because people won't be quiet and
Yeah.
there's
isn't there a gavel
chatter.
for that now?
Could be.
Yeah, probably.
But there have been, you know, some of the applications that are
It's
hot.
spicy right now, yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you there's one, I think there's a gavel app.
Gavel. Oh my God, I love it.
Invent it.
Okay, motion to approve nameplates for commissioners and a gavel for the chairman.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll be the one name, but.
My wife got a Hanukkah gift last year, that's a little gavel on a little plate, and you hit it, it goes dum dum, like the Law and Order thing, it's very fun. So whenever we make a family decision, we,
Oh,
It's a new purchase, though, right? The gavel's not a new purchase, or?
No, we have it in the box.
Okay, all right, so, will you be bringing the gavel?
Yeah, I would have to tow it to the meetings,
Okay.
but now that
Appreciate that.
I'm only downstairs, so it's not a big ask.
All right. All right, that's great. Okay, any other business? All right, so 7:15, motion to adjourn.